Hebrew home is. For where the heart is, that's where you find the Hebrew home. Hebrew home, Hebrew home. Good morning, Hebrew home. My home, my heart is where the Hebrew home is. For where the heart is, that's where you find the Hebrew home.
Good morning, everyone. I am your host. I'm having a crazy hair day, coming in live from the Dörfner Judaica Museum, and my mic is not on. Dörfner Judaica Museum here at the Hebrew Home, and this is Good Morning Hebrew Home. Welcome. It's live, everyone. Today is Friday, September 18th, and the time is 10:31 a.m. Happy New Year, everyone. Tonight, this evening is the first night of Rosh Hashanah, so Leshana Tova. And today we have Rabbi Noah joining us to talk about what Religious Services has put together to help ensure those observing the high holidays have an opportunity this year. So we have a lot to talk about, so let's get into the news. Let's take a look at the weather in our neck of the woods and this weekend. Today's Friday. Today will be cloudy skies early and then followed by a partial clearing. And then temperatures will be high 71 degrees. Saturday we have sunny skies, high around 65 degrees. And Sunday, a mainly sunny sky, high in 64 degrees. Let's move to this day in history. I felt like going back to the 1800s. Today, September 18th, the Royal Opera House in London opens. Also, 1851, first published by Henry Jarvis Raymond and George Jones on September 18th, 1851, under the name of the New York Daily Times. So it was the first day of the New York Daily Times. In film, 1951, A Streetcar Named Desire, which was directed by Elia Kazan and based on Tennessee Williams' 1947 play of the same name starring Marlon Brando and Vivian Leigh, is released. Vivian Leigh. If any of you guys remember watching that, I remember the first time I saw it. I was confused by it, but I was very little. But I remember Marlon Brando being just so dreamy. 1965, Mickey Mantle Day at Yankee Stadium. Mantle played his 2000th game on this day, so very exciting. And some other things happening today. It's Tradesman Day. So Irwin Tools, a world-class manufacturer of a broad line of professional hand tools and power tool accessories, founded the day in 2011 to honor the men and women who work hard to keep this country running. They build all of our buildings, our schools, our workplaces, and my dad is an electrician. So thank you, Dad, for showing me how to do things like put up a ceiling fan or do drywall work, which is my favorite, and put up a ceiling. I've learned so much, but the most important thing that I've learned is make sure that you turn the power off before you do any work, or else it gets, pretty exciting. It's also Cheeseburger Day and Hug Your Boss Day. But if you do plan on hugging your boss in this times, it's recommended that you do like an arm hug from far away. So go around, hug your boss, but from far away. And it's also First Love Day. So today to think about your first love. My first love, and I'm sharing this on YouTube, and now it'll be archived forever, and Lisa's laughing because she knows, was Top Cat. I don't know if anyone remembers the cartoon Top Cat. That was my first love. I thought I was going to marry him. I don't know why this was a thing. And then I think I moved on to Teddy Ruxpin. So those are my first loves, and today's the day to think about that. Famous birthday for today, Lance Armstrong, born September 18th, 1971 in Texas. He was a professional road racing cyclist known for winning the Tour de France, a record 7 times from 1999 to 2005. And then in 2012, he was banned for life from all sports because there was some drug things, and he had taken part in that, and he lost a lot of his achievements. But he did some really great work, and today was his birthday. Resident birthdays for today. We got a bunch for today and this weekend. Happy birthday to Zelda F. I hope you're watching. Happy birthday. And Thomas R. Tomorrow we have the 19th, Mary R., Ann S., and Samuel R. Happy birthday. And for Sunday, we have Judith, just Judith. Happy birthday. Staff birthdays. We have Jose from security, Rosalind from the food service department, Louis from housekeeping, and Rakisha from nursing. Happy birthday. Tomorrow's birthdays from staff. Wildade from nursing, Anne Marie from QI and risk management, Suzanne from Riverwalk, and Jeanette from housekeeping. Happy birthday to all. And that was Sundays as well. I'm going to do the menus now. And I printed them out because my brain goes crazy sometimes when I'm reading the teleprompter. So let's do Fridays today. Today's menu, lunch will be vegetable pizza, Israeli salad, and for dessert, mini vanilla cookies. We have for dinner, vegetable soup, vegetable noodle soup. I still messed it up. Entree is honey glazed chicken, seasoned potato wedges, and challah bread. That sounds really lovely. And dessert is marble pound cake. So Friday. Let's do Saturday. Lunch will be beef stew with rice pilaf and challah bread. And for dessert, we have a peach mango applesauce. I love peach mango. And then dinner will be vegetable quinoa soup, Waldorf tuna salad platter, and homemade potato salad challah bread. And dessert will be rice pudding. So that is Saturday. And we've made it to Sunday. Sundays will be, I think that's lunch. I don't know why it's, okay. Escarole with white bean soup. It both says dinner. Well, I think this is dinner, or maybe it's wrong. I think they have left out lunch on my menu here, but escarole with white beans, entree will be cherry cheese blintzes, and baked apple slices, and for dessert, strawberry ice cream. And unfortunately, or maybe this is lunch, vegetable couscous chicken, gefilte fish with carrot, apples dipped in honey, honey dill salmon, and jasmine rice. That's all very confusing, but I hope you guys have a really great lunch and dinner on Sunday. I'd like to, now let's move on to our guest for today. I'd like to welcome Rabbi Noah here to talk all things high holidays. So, welcome.
Thank you, Olivia, so much. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you back.
It's been a while, yeah.
So, we are having a lot of things going on that are different than what we normally do. And I know that you've worked super hard in putting a plan together, religious services, and figuring out the best way and safest way for our residents to observe the high holidays.
Yes, so, yeah, happy to be on here and to share our plans, share what's going on for the high holidays. We have this schedule we put together that, I'm not sure how well it's coming across, but we're handing these out on the floors. I've been handing them out yesterday to this morning, later today. But basically, it's a schedule of what we have going on. So if you get one of these, you can look at it. But there are two main times to remember because there are 4 services for Rosh Hashanah. We have 2 evening services tonight and tomorrow night, and those are both at 6:30. And then we have 2 morning services tomorrow morning and Sunday morning. Those are both at 10 o'clock. So just 6:30 and 10 o'clock are the 2 times to remember.
So how are the services taking place this year? Since we're not, normally we would be in the great room.
Right. Normally we'd be in the great room and a nice big crowd. And, you know, normally it's our largest service of the year. And unfortunately this year we are not able to do that. And so as it says on our schedules around here, all services this year are on channel 88 on Channel 88. They were pre-recorded, and so they're led by Rabbi Hirschhorn and myself.
Great.
And so for anyone who would like to hear our services for Rosh Hashanah or for Yom Kippur, they can tune in to Channel 88. We have the holiday prayers, we have the holiday melodies and tunes, and I threw in a couple of new tunes that I'm not sure if we've done here at the Hebrew Home before for the high holidays.
Oh, that's
and so
exciting.
you can listen along and see if you find them.
So the whole everything has been pre-recorded and it'll be on Channel 88, which is the same channel that we have our second showing of the show. So residents and everyone should be aware. If you already watched Channel 88 to watch the show or some of the other programs that we have on, you'll now be able to see the pre-recorded services, which our camera person, Allison, I know took part in that as well. To help make that possible. It was a lot of...
Thank you so much to Allison.
Yeah.
And so part of what we have going on is the services pre-recorded on Channel 88.
Right. And there's some other stuff.
And the thing I didn't mention on there is those who like to hear our classes. There are 2 sermons that are in the morning, so you can hear that as well. And a couple other things going on. I'm going to be around for some visits. I can't promise to get to everyone, but I'm going to get to as many people as I can. And for the second day of Rosh Hashanah this year, I'll be around to do some in-person shofar blowing. This year, because Rosh Hashanah falls out where the first day is Shabbat, the practice is not to blow shofar on Shabbat.
Okay.
But this year we blow it only on the second day.
Okay.
So I'm going to be around to blow it in person on the second day. Whoever is, I can't call it for a specific time because that would be a program. But whoever's outside when I'm outside, I'll blow shofar and you can hear it. And I'll see how many neighborhoods I can make it to blow shofar. And I wanted to point out, to highlight for those who haven't noticed, I don't know, Alison, if you want to zoom in a little bit, there's a mask on this shofar. So masks are not just for people anymore. We've got a mask on the shofar. And this is really happening throughout the Jewish community this year specifically, not previous years, but this year specifically because of the risk of the virus, and because for the same reason that we all wear masks, even more so when we're using an instrument like this, where we're blowing out of the instrument, and those particles can make it much farther than when I'm just speaking in a normal way. It's even more important to have a mask covering the shofar. So that's what really throughout the Jewish community, that's what's being done this year.
Wow.
And so we're taking those same measures here at the Hebrew Home. Approved by Dr. Palace. I asked him like 2 months ago or something like that. Is this good? And he was telling me he wasn't even thinking about Rosh Hashanah yet, but he was glad that I was. And yes, he did approve it. So we'll be able to do that as well. And
That's
Yom
great.
Kippur is coming up in another week. A week from Sunday night is Yom Kippur. I wanted to mention, many of you know that it is a fast day. It is one of our 2 major fast days of the year. And a major fast day in the Jewish calendar as opposed to a minor one is about the length of the fast. A minor fast day is from sunrise to nightfall, which is not as long as a major fast, which is really from sunset on one day to nightfall the following day, about 25 hours. So what I wanted to mention is anyone who's thinking about fasting should please check with your doctor, check with your medical team, and make sure it is safe for you to do so. Something I've been saying for every fast, and it's just very important for those who it is who it's safe and healthy for them to do so. It is considered a mitzvah to fast, but that's only if it's doctor approved and safe for them for people to do so. If anyone whose doctor says it's not safe, it's not for you, then it's actually in that situation, as I was sharing with a resident yesterday who was thinking about this, and it's actually in that case a mitzvah not to fast. If for those who are who it would compromise their health, it would be a mitzvah not to fast on that day. And we can, but I'm available to have conversations about that, answer questions, but certain questions are really for your doctor and not for me.
Right.
As I was sharing with some residents. And also, if you are fasting, please let me know. I'm working with food services to coordinate to make sure that those who are fasting are going to have food available when the fast ends, which is later than the normal dinner.
Got it. Wow, so many moving pieces to make this possible. And seems like a lot of, and we were kind of joking before, but you'll be in two places at once in a way that you'll be visually, people will be able to see you on channel 88, and you're making yourself available to pass out the prayer books.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we are. I think it didn't mention that. I think that was mentioned, but,
okay.
But we have these Rosh Hashanah prayer books. The thing about the high holidays, it's the really 2 days throughout the year that we use a different prayer book than any other day of the year. We have a complete prayer book that we use the rest of the year for our holidays, for weekdays, for Shabbat. But Rosh Hashanah has its own prayer book. Yom Kippur has its own prayer book. And these nice burgundy Birnbaum Machzorim, Birnbaum prayer books, are what we're going to be calling out the pages for in our pre-recorded high holiday services. So for those who would like to have a Birnbaum prayer book, I've already given out a bunch, and we're available to give out some more. You can call me 1416, that's 1416. If I haven't been to your floor yet, I should get there. And for many people, they're not interested in following along in the prayer book and just interested in listening and hearing, and that's totally fine.
That's
Some
great.
people in a regular Rosh Hashanah would just go and listen, and that's very much encouraged. We're happy for people to experience the Rosh Hashanah services in whatever way is feeling right to them, feeling good and spiritually and emotionally fulfilling for them.
That's great. So many options and choices to listen along or to read along. I love that we have that option to fast or not to fast based on what your health needs are. I have a question. Something that I have found that comes up a lot of times is for our residents who are non-Jewish. Is it okay for them to turn on channel 88, for them to watch the services if they're interested? I know we have many different religions here as well, and I know when we do Shabbat on the floors, some residents also feel maybe a little hesitant about watching or being a part of it. And what would you say to those residents here?
Sure. Thank you so much for the question. I just want to say a couple of things about that. So, number one, everyone is welcome to watch our services. It's probably going to be less familiar. Now, I do want to put out there that the services are primarily done in Hebrew. So it's going to be less familiar to those who, whether Jewish or not, who are less familiar with Hebrew. The sermons are in English, and we're calling out pages in English. So even if you're, so for those who have a book, if they're hearing Hebrew but they look at that page, they can look at the English side of the page. Our prayer books have Hebrew on one side, English on the other. But we definitely welcome everyone to watch, and if you find it fulfilling and meaningful, then that's great, and I'm happy for that to be for as many people as possible, especially since in many cases people are sitting in a lounge together, and they're gonna either all watch one thing or all watch another, and we want it to be fulfilling for as many as possible. I also want to mention just religiously in terms of Jewish tradition that it's often referred to Rosh Hashanah as the Jewish New Year.
Right.
But In Jewish tradition, it's not actually the Jewish New Year. It's the New Year of the world. It's the New Year of humanity. It's the anniversary of when human beings were created on the sixth day of creation. So, from a Jewish tradition perspective, we don't see it as the New Year for the for the Jews. We see it as the New Year for everyone.
Right.
And I definitely welcome everyone to participate, and anyone who has questions, happy to discuss and answer and start conversations.
That's wonderful. I love that it's for the whole world, and I think that especially right now, where we're doing social distancing and we're all finding ways to adapt, it's ways of also thinking of how we can all come together.
Actually, in the Mishnah, which is one of the sets of Jewish texts that I sometimes teach in my Bible study classes, it says that on Rosh Hashanah, each and every human being comes before God, that God gives each and every human being, not each and every Jew, each and every human being, individual attention, one at a time, on Rosh Hashanah. And I think it's really beautiful to think that God is giving each of us individual attention.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to share that as well.
That's really lovely, and thank you so much for joining and coming on. And I hope that residents can see everything that's going on. Everyone will be around too to help pass off the message of what's happening for the services and everything, and help remind people. There was so much work that went into all of this, and so just really excited and happy that our residents can participate in this adapted way that you guys have figured out in religious services. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Olivia.
Yeah.
For having me. I want to wish you and all of our viewers a Shana Tova, a happy and a healthy new year.
Happy and a healthy. Thank you, Rabbi Noah.
Thank you.
All right, so we will move over to our positive news story for today. I was actually reading an article, and Rabbi Noah, if you're still around, please feel free to jump in and correct me at any point. But sure. But I read a article about creative other ways that congregations around the country right now are figuring out how to come together and celebrate the holidays. And so many congregations have come up with these creative ways to adapt to this year. And here are some of the things that I found, and also some of the ways or themes that we can all participate in this holiday, as Rabbi Noah was saying before. So some congregations have created high holiday boxes for congregants that include holiday candles, apple snacks, honey, and notebooks for people to jot down reflections as they mark the high holidays wherever they are. And some have created DIY. It's the age of DIY, high holiday guides, which explain how to create a sacred space within your home as we're all in quarantine. That includes a makeshift altar and personal pictures or totems of items of significance.
Does everyone know what DIY is? I wasn't sure.
Thank you. Do it yourself. Thanks, Allison. So DIY is do it yourself. Rabbi Noah is still here. Since it is a holiday of reflection, there are many online resources to help with this. The Jewish holy days are a chance to say you're sorry. And again, there are many online resources to help with this process. So I actually looked up some of the resources, and it's this website, and it has, or there are a number of websites that have like writing prompts or things to think about that kind of fall within those themes. So that fall within the ways to say you're sorry. If you're thinking of somebody maybe that you have not treated the best, or something you want to apologize for, they have different kinds of prompts for that. Another theme that's within this holiday as well is to cast off the sins, or as they said, a better way of thinking of it might be to examine where we are hitting the marks in our lives and where we are falling short of the best versions of ourselves.
Yeah, so yeah. I think, those are all great things. I did want to mention something you had shared, just reminded me of I think I mentioned this in one of my Bible study classes, but not this morning, which is we were just talking about watching our services on Channel 88, and this year that it's not in the synagogue in person, and for many people many of our residents are going to be watching it either in lounges or in their rooms, and I just wanted to encourage something that you reminded me of. I wanted to encourage that anything you can do to make your space more of a prayer space, more of a Rosh Hashanah high holiday space while you're watching, could definitely enhance your experience. And it's something that I was speaking about with some of my colleagues. We have a group. You were mentioning what different synagogues and different communities are doing. So one of the things I love about Riverdale is we actually have a group of basically all of the Jewish communities within Riverdale, the different congregations and institutions are all part of a group together that I have the privilege of being part of, and to just be in touch with all the other rabbis in Riverdale that are congregational or school or whatever type of rabbis. And one of the things we're talking about is making the space ready. So if you would normally wear nicer clothes to attend services, to come to our synagogue on Rosh Hashanah, wear those clothes tomorrow for Rosh Hashanah. It's the clothes are not just for the synagogue. The clothes are for the holiday. And for ourselves, it just makes us feel different if we wear our nicer clothes and try to neaten things up a little bit if we're able to.
That makes complete sense, yeah. Another theme, too, that came up was, what's your legacy? So thinking about ways, what do you see for the next year or in the future, or what do you hope for the world and things like that?
Yeah.
And finally, the New Year, which is basically what the legacy is, it gives us a chance to envision our future. So it's an invitation, and what they said in this article, it's an invitation for reflective honesty. So, and the bottom line, and this is also what we were talking about a little before, is that the bottom line is not Jewish. The bottom line is that it's human. So these are all things that we can be a part of in reflecting, thinking about where we would like to be. It's a holiday of self-analysis and self-reflection, and from what I'm reading, taking the time to make your space where you feel safe right now something that's conducive to that.
Yeah, and it's really something that many who grew up observing the Jewish high holidays don't always take the time to do. We might be busy getting ready our meals for the high holidays, getting ready our nice clothes and getting dressed and going to synagogue and saying the words in the prayer books. But everything you're mentioning are very important things that really should be a part of our high holidays as well. It's really about what we call in Hebrew cheshbon hanefesh, just inner inspection and reflection and a soul search to think about how we can better ourselves, which a lot of times we think of in a negative way. When we think of repentance during the high holidays, what did I do wrong? What do I want to not do again? But really, we should think of it as in a positive way as well. What do I want to accomplish? What do I want my legacy to be? Which is not just what did I do before I came to the Hebrew home, but what am I doing while I'm at the Hebrew home, while I'm in this community? How am I interacting with others? How am I staying connected to my family and making some of those phone calls? And all of those things. So I definitely want to encourage that even those who are more used to the Jewish traditions that we actively experience in the synagogue, take some time today, take a pen, a paper, and write down some thoughts, some of your reflections on your past year and what your hopes and dreams are for the coming year.
That's wonderful. Thank you for staying for our last news story of the day. I got Rabbi's approval. I'm happy. As always, please feel free to give us a call. Any good news that you've heard and would like to share on the show, you can do so by dialing 2813. And if you're watching on YouTube, please feel free to leave us a comment down below. Hit that like button or hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Remember to tune in to Channel 8 later today. We have Catholic services with Deacon George at 11:15, your Hip Parade with Larry Applewhite at 1:30, and program note, Shabbat Shalom will not be held today at 3:30. And also, don't forget, like we were talking about before, today at 6:30 will be the evening first night of Rosh Hashanah services.
Right, and it'll be the services for both Rosh Hashanah and Shabbat. It's combined, it's put together for both this evening and also tomorrow morning. It's both Shabbat and it's Rosh Hashanah, which affects the service a little bit. As I mentioned, we don't blow the shofar on Shabbat, so it affects in some of those types of ways.
And so this episode of Good Morning Hebrew Home will not be on tonight at 6:30, but as always, you can catch all of our episodes on YouTube. And once again, this has been Olivia Cohen with Good Morning Hebrew Home. We will see you all Monday, same time, same place, same channel. Cohen out. Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.